We live. What it do? We're gonna try something else again. You see, we ain't stopping. We ain't never letting it go. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna do everything we need to keep grooving. That sounded corny, but it's all good because we got technology issues and we trying to get those fixed so that we can react to this high fade. This high fade by my boy HYB. All right, so we waiting for that to load and see if it's coming in crystal clear. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. If you guys are joining me in the chat, we got a high fade that we're going to show you by HYB. We might put the link in the description for you guys to. Is it linking? Is it on? All right. All right. So we're putting that on mute. All right. And we're going to have the chat open up. We're going to copy the boom, copy that. And we're gonna wait for the chat to pop up. All right. So, like I said before, if you are going to join us for this haircut reaction on this high fade, if you want to come up on a panel, I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys to hop up on the panel. You can react to the haircut with me. All right. This is something that we're trying out new, trying to test something out. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. The high fade.
What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing y'all my steps to a high fade. It's going to be real nice, simple steps anybody can, grasp the concept of. We're only going to be using, let's say the one guard, then we're going to use the half guard, the one guard, and the half guard. So only 3 guards will be needed for this process of this fade. We might throw in a little beard tutorial or whatever, but I ain't going to hold y'all too long. We're going to jump straight into the video. Alright y'all, when y'all dealing with a haircut like this, the first thing that you want to do, really with any haircut, is just make sure everything is combed down. Make sure everything is combed out so all the hair is lifted up off the scalp. Even if you're combing it with the grain is going forward like this. Well, with the grain is where the hair naturally tries to go. Against the grain is combing the hair in the opposite way. Against the grain is basically the opposite way of where the hair is trying to grow. Against the grain puts the hair up.
And you know that's something that I want to say. As a barber, you should definitely be paying attention to the direction of hair growth. And I don't mean just on the top surface of the hair. I mean down at the root of the hair. You know, you should actually be taking a comb, combing down, or combing through the hair and actually looking down into the hair to see the direction of the hair pattern. Because as a barber, you need to make sure that you cut in certain directions, either with the grain or against the grain or across the grain. But if you don't have like if you don't have a very detailed visual of what direction that hair is growing down on the level of the scalp, then you could be possibly cutting across the grain or against the grain and not really understanding and realizing that, because on a surface top layer of the hair, it could be going in a whole different direction. So make sure you guys are paying attention to the direction of the hair growth down at the level of the scalp. Let's keep going.
With the grain, puts the hair back down. But with a comb is different from the brush. A comb is designed, even with the grain, to lift the hair up off of the scalp. So that's what we're going to do. So whenever we cut his hair down, what we're about to do, we're going to use a one guard to cut his hair down to get everything all even, to set a nice foundation so we can complete this cut. Alright, so you can either start off with 2 different types of clippers. I got these. It don't have to be the specific brands, but I got the Wall Seniors and I got these Babeless right here. Babeless, these are more so for beginners for real. These are like very, very beginners. These will help y'all with keeping the process of not, keeping your guidelines and stuff like that a certain width.
That's some fire clippers right there. I use Babyliss, and those are the only ones I use now. I used to use Andis and uh, your
in a certain length and not fading too high. This is a click lever system. This really helps when maintaining the fade. This right here, they don't have a click lever system. It's all on what's in your mind. It's all a mind concept when it comes to these wall scenes right here.
So that's the reason why he said that the blue ones are kind of for beginners because they got that click system. So you can kind of click and know where you are in opening or closing the blade. With the other ones, it's just you freehanding it. So you got to have a little bit more expertise to that. So let's keep going.
Because these don't have a click lever system and these do. So it's easy with these. I would say for beginner barbers. And with these, you know, it's just on your own mind. But I like to use a 4-step lever system inside my head. So the two that we're going to discuss is all the way open, which leaves the most hair, and all the way closed, which leaves less hair. See how the blade gets shorter? Shorter whenever I close it, that's up. And whenever I open the blade, it leaves more hair, the blade gets longer. So I would imagine 2 levers, boom, 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 in between, all the way open and all the way closed. So I work on a 4.
Hey man, look at his client. His client look like he over there about to fall asleep, man. He like, man, come on and get to this haircut, bro.
Lever system. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna use these today. Whenever we're cutting the hair down, we want to make sure the lever is all the way closed so we can have a nice foundation. Leaving the lever open, and then it kind of messes up my fading process. So we're doing it all the way closed, and we're just gonna go with the grain. Only because he has waves. And you don't want to you can really seriously mess up some.
You got to be careful in those corners, even when you going through that process right there with the grain on the top. Those corners can sometimes be using hair from behind the line to cover over those corners if they thinning. So you want to make sure you're paying attention to if the hairline in the corners are thinning, and if it's using any hair from behind the hairline, you know, to lay down forward towards that hairline that you might want to preserve. So keep that in mind.
Ways if you go against the grain. So we're not going against the grain, and we don't want to be a crown killer. So we're going with the grain. And that's going forward or in the same direction that the hair tries to lace or goes or flow, if you want to say that. So we're gonna do this all around the head and cut it all down. And what you do after you cut it, you want to make sure you comb it again, just to ensure that.
Yeah, I like using the comb. I know some barbers, they like to use brushes, but what I learned when I was in barber school is that brushes can't be sanitized. You know, you get all that loose hair down inside the brush, and if you try to sanitize it, there's really no way to get all that loose hair out of the brush. So, you know, we were taught on using combs, and so, you know, that's the reason why we use combs. So yeah, you want to comb all the loose hair out of the hair as you taking that bulk out of the hair, and use a comb. Don't use a brush. I know people like to use brush because they think it help with the waves, but your clients appreciate that you're using a comb, something that can be sanitized.
All of the hair is getting cut. See, it's still able to cut some more just because we combed it out, just that tad bit, just so everything can be nice and flush and even. And we're gonna do this all around the head. Then we're gonna share all our steps for the fading process. All right. So to begin this thing off, for a high fade, what we're gonna do, a low fade. Let me just explain a drop fade. Well, a low fade, a drop fade, a mid fade, and a high fade. A drop fade, you will still want to keep the C-cup area right here. So you will take the ball guideline about right here, and then curve it way in the back, and then make it and drop down. That's a drop fade. A mid fade or a low fade will usually start right here and then just go all the way around the head. Of course, complementing the head shape and everything. A mid fade more so right here, and a high fade you'll probably start a little bit higher right here. So we're gonna do a high fade for beginners. So we're gonna start our guidelines with our faders. We're starting it with our faders because it's easier to take the lines out with our faders than it would be using our trimmers. This first guideline is always the hardest line to take out for every barber in the world. So to ensure that it's not too hard for us to take out, we're just going to use our faders. Of course, below this guideline, we're going to fade. We're going to take, because we're going to do the beard, a little taper for the beard. Everything right here and above, all the way, all this hair that's underneath, we're going to take that out with our trimmers. And whenever you're making these lines, I do like to work in.
Hey, so do y'all use a different pair of trimmers when y'all balding out from the ones that you use to edge up your clients? I find that sometimes that if you use the same trimmers that you use to edge up to bald out, then it dulls out the blade a little bit faster. Is that something that you guys are doing? Let me know in the comments if you use the same trimmer to bald out that you use to edge up with. I'd be interested to know that.
Sections, which will be left side, right side, then making the sections connect in the back. So this is what your first guideline should look like. And I'm keeping it like this only because, you know, his head shape, you got to look at the head shape and then complement the haircut with the head shape. For this fade, I usually set in my first guideline with the lever all the way open. Every guideline that we're going to sit in, the lever is going to be all the way open. And then to share the length with y'all about how much I'm going to be opening or how thick my guidelines are going to be, right here on this blade, right here is where we're going to keep the guidelines, from here to the top of the blade to right here to half of the blade. That's about a half of an inch. So what we're going to do, we're going to set in all the guidelines first, and then we're going to work on fading all of them out. So I like to start them in the middle right here. We're going to set in our first guideline around that much of thickness right there.
That's pretty much what I do, is exactly what he's doing. I mean, I don't leave the hair at the bottom to take it out with the blade or to take it out with the trimmers. I basically start with the trimmers and do everything that he did to bald it out. And after everything is balded out, I take my clipper and I open it all the way, and then I do the part that he's doing right there. So we pretty much do the same technique.
We're going to use the brush for this side. Matter of fact, we're going to use the comb, just because the hair is so thick. Just like that. It don't really take too much for real. Now we're going to go for our one guard. The same exact length or width. Remember, everything is cut down with the one guard. Everything is cut down with the one guard, so we tend to make our one guard spot, it's really going to be faint. It's going to be the faintest line. Just like that. So as I can see right now, we have 3 lines. One right here, and one right there. And we're going to fade all of this out. To remove the bulk from the top, we're going to use our half guard. Our half guard will be this right here. One of the biggest guard after the one guard. Then for this line right here, we're going to use our one guard. And then for the bottom line, we're going to use our half guard.
Yeah.
The smallest guard that we have.
Yeah, so that first guard, that was a 1.5, not a half. He by mistake, I think he just said half, but it was a 1.5. So 1.5, 1, and then a half.
So what we're gonna do to make it easy, the easiest steps that we can possibly take is start working down so we don't push the fade up too high. So we're gonna start with our half guard all the way open. Even though I know this half guard wouldn't remove all the bulk, and we're trying to take out this slightest bit of line right there. I'm going to slowly close it until it starts disappearing. And remember, it's not the teeth right here, the comb or the guard that cuts the hair, it's the teeth in between. The teeth of the clipper or the blades of the clipper that cuts the hair. And as you can see, as simple as that was, that line is already gone. Just like that. Now we're gonna focus on taking out this line right here, or fading out that one section. What you wanna do, you wanna start with your one guard all the way open, with the lever all the way open. That leaves the most hair. This guideline was already created. Slowly start closing your lever and working your way down within the fade. And fading down ensures a nicer and cleaner fade. Down one more notch. And as we go down in the fade, we're also closing our lever. And as we go down with our lever, we're also going down in the fade. Same thing. A little bit more. Now I'm at that bottom line, but just this one guard alone will not take that line out. And then while we're here, before we get to the lever all the way closed, we're gonna slightly open it halfway or close it halfway, and we're just gonna detail in a 1.5 area. Detailing is basically just using one side of your clipper, whatever one feels comfortable. I'm right-handed, so I will use the right side of my clipper. And we're basically splitting 2 hairs or 3 hairs, 4 hairs into 2, 2 hairs into 1. It's basically just splitting hairs. All the little dark areas inside of the fade, we're just splitting them hairs to individual hairs to make it look cleaner and make the blend look a lot smoother.
It's all about those angles. Make sure y'all paying attention to the angles that he's using as he's putting this fade in. It's so many different ways to do fades, and it's interesting to watch how other barbers do fades on their clients, because I know I got my techniques and my skills and my format and how I do it, but it's always interesting to watch how other barbers do their fades.
That's all it is. That's all detailing is. Now level all the way closed. Now we're at this point, the lowest point right here, but that's not gonna take that line all the way out. So what we do, we switch to our half guard. We switch to our half guard, and then right here you can see this, and then we have this one section to work out. We take our half guard all the way open, and we start flicking at this line until it disappears. More so with my fading techniques, the half guard, you're not going to use it all the way closed.
Look at the flick at the wrist.
We still want to follow the same exact process just to ensure we're getting a nice clean blend. Close it a little bit more.
You know they always say that if you can't get your fade to look the way you want, it ain't the clipper, it's your wrist. Something wrong with your wrist.
This section right here, it's real simple, real easy process. Close it, not all the way, but a little bit more. And then we're detailing, going halfway. And then wherever we was at with that one guard position, you're gonna start detailing. Every time you detail in one section, you're gonna detail with the guard underneath the guard that you're in the section of. Basically, the 1.5 guard, to detail in the 1.5 guard area, use the 1 guard. To detail in the 1 guard area, use the half guard. And to detail in the half guard area, you want to do it with no guard, with your lever halfway open or all the way open. And as y'all can see, the fade is coming out nice, clean fade, nice and simple steps. Y'all follow these, y'all keep doing these steps, y'all be a dog in about, I'd say about 6 months, 3 months. Y'all may grasp the concept instantly. But really it's all about getting to it, repetition, doing it over and over again. Some may grasp it faster than others, but I have the easiest steps.
Shout out to you, HYB. I see you, man.
Guaranteed. Now you're gonna do lever all the way off, or clipper guard all the way off, lever all the way open, and this all right here, we're gonna work our way down. Boom. Close it a little bit. Go down in the fade, close it a little bit more. And this is I don't wanna dig all the way into this waves up top, so that's why I'm fading down. That's why fading down is such a nice process. close the lever a little bit more. And eventually, you'll get back to where where we all started at. The lever all the way closed, where we set in our first guideline. And we're just gonna flick out, or you can detail right there, so it don't look like a line. Then lever all the way open. Use our corners. And that's really it. A nice clean fade for y'all. Now I'm gonna finish the whole entire fade, do his beard and everything. And then at the end, we're gonna keep a little bit of this hair right here, just for the fade. For the beard.
I see you with the edit, how you just magically got done with that fade just like that. I see you on the editing.
But you just want to remove all of this hair. And when you remove all of this hair, that's when you're actually going to see the fade come all the way together. So y'all, this is the haircut right here. A nice, clean blend. But if y'all want more videos like this, y'all can give me suggestions in the comment section. And y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram and make sure y'all subscribe. And that's about it. Oh, it's...
Yeah. Shout out to that brother right there, HYB, for showing us his high fade. Y'all go show that brother some love. I'm gonna put the link to his channel in the description of the video. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember, we did this live, so make sure you guys subscribe to that channel and hit the notification bell. You might be able to go live with us and hop up on a panel and react to some of these videos with us. So, we're here, we building a community, and everybody's safe over here. So we want to network and build with you and show some love. So make sure you guys subscribe and hit that notification bell and join us in the chat next time. But if you got any value out of this and you like this video, you probably like the one that's popping up on your screen right now. So click that video and I will see you inside. We're going to go ahead and close off this live stream, y'all. It's been a thrill today, learning a little bit more about live streaming and getting this thing on YouTube popping. We got about 603 subscribers. Go ahead and become a channel member, a channel subscriber. We ain't got to the membership yet, but go ahead and become a channel subscriber and be a part of our community, barbering, entrepreneurship, and technology, with a sprinkle of entertainment and, stuff going on in the culture. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Until next time.